Good evening and welcome. This Poquoson City Council work session is called to order. To receive an update on our sidewalk project, we have with us tonight our city engineer, Mr. Sean Crawford. Sean, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, City Council, Mr. City Manager. How are you all this evening? Pleasure to be with you. So we did a survey recently of Poquoson Avenue from Wythe Creek Road to Cedar Road. We'll go through this presentation similar to the one we did with Little Florida, where we'll start on one end and work our way down towards the other. We'll start at Wythe Creek and we will head towards Cedar. So we'll start with a high-level overview. Like I said, the area surveyed is Poquoson Avenue from Wythe Creek Road to Cedar. We surveyed both sides of the roadway, so the north and the south. The area has variable right-of-way, many utilities, power poles, communication boxes, underground utilities, lots of shrubbery, trees, other landscape features. The stormwater mostly consists of open ditches, pipe sections, catch basins, and the likes of those. We could potentially be looking at a lot of stormwater management in this area, whether that be piping ditches if we decide to go in a certain area, or reconfiguring existing stormwater infrastructure, regrading, filling. Both sides of the roadway would require a substantial amount of clearing. There are fully developed pine trees and things of that nature that run along Poquoson Avenue, as well as gardens and other features that homeowners have that are currently in the right-of-way. And there are a few sections, as we're all familiar, that are paved between Wythe Creek and Cedar. So as we move down, you'll notice that we will have, a kind of a zoomed-in section that will show you the distance off the edge of the roadway to the right-of-way line. And this will correspond with some pictures to follow to give you a visual representation of what we're looking at with this survey. So we'll start here. The current sidewalk ends roughly there and there. So the first section we'll look at is Wythe Creek Road to White House Circle. So we're looking on the left side of the road. As you can see, the topography is relatively flat. There's no ditching. The stakes, as we go through this, mark the right-of-way. And the right side as well, as I mentioned, is flat in this area, up to White House Circle, which is the road there at A on the left.
There are pipes underneath?
Not in this section.
Okay.
This is sheet flows off the roadway. So between White House Circle and Woodland Road is the next section we'll look at. Woodlands there on the left, so C would be the left side of the roadway. The fence on this property is on that homeowner's property, so the right-of-way is basically up towards that fence. So we have some flat land up there on that section. On the right, we get a little bit more pronounced with the ditching starting, and you can see the stake is in line with the tree along that section on the right side of the roadway. So next we'll look at Woodland Road to Topping Canal Drive. We'll look at two separate sections along this corridor. Here on the left side, we have a little section of open ditch. If any sidewalk were to go through there, that would need to be piped. And on the right side of the roadway is when the ditching starts to pick up along Poquoson Avenue. Once you get past Woodland, it's more open ditching on the right side of the roadway as you head towards Cedar. You can kind of see it, but the marker is right there for the right-of-way. And there's also a perpendicular ditch that runs through there that drains a substantial amount of storm water to the creek just on the other side. It goes under Poquoson Avenue. Between those two, the two properties here at E, and empties out into the canal. So moving along. The next section, this is where we have on the left G here, on the left side of the road, we have some ditching here. You'll notice a common theme throughout the presentation and throughout this corridor is the right-of-way seems to fall in line with all the power poles as you move along. And you'll see that as we go. There are areas where it differs. It may be a little bit further out. It may be a little bit closer to the road, but it stays pretty consistent throughout. The middle picture here is just a little bit further up from G. That's just showing the paved section where we have those houses that are right against the road and that paved area before it picks back up to grass. H would be the right side of the road. That's Islander Way, the private road there. And the right-of-way marked on that side is in line with the fully grown pine tree that you have in that picture. Next, we'll moving along from Topping Canal to Hudgens. So on the left eye is the business that was once, I believe, the former bank. We have flat topography picked back up here, some grass, no real defined ditches along this section. On J, Tidewater Z is right there, and that's Hudgens, and that's where we have a well-defined ditch with a pretty far drop-off, mature pine tree, and the right-of-way is with the power pole on that side as well. And Tidewater Z has all those bollards, going around there and is paved as well. It's a good thing to mention to everyone. All right. As we keep moving, we'll look at Hudgens Road to Renz Road. We'll look at 3 separate sections along this area. So the left side of the road is fairly open with the right-of-way continuing, to run along with the power lines. I can't see the marker there because it's behind the power pole, so that's the area we have to work with. The open ditches, the ditches open back up. On the right side, you can see the right-of-way marker in the beginning of the flower bed next to the driveway on that side. So we have more pronounced ditches, as you've noticed, as we've moved along on the right side or the southern side of this section. As we continue to move down, M, the left side of the road, right in line with the power poles. You can see a utility box there in the ground next to the power pole. That's a common thing. A lot of underground utilities run on that side. Open ditches on the right side. If you look closely, you can see this thing's not working, but there we go. The right-of-way marker up in the yard there on the right side of the roadway. So from O, this is standing at Renz Road. This is underground piped for stormwater. There's a catch basin right there. A right-of-way continues to run along the power poles. On the right side, the old police station is in the background, and we have plenty of flat topography and right-of-way on that section as well. There's the stake right there, showing the distance from the edge of the roadway. Now from Renz Road to Odd Road, we'll look at this section next. So on the left here, we open back up a little bit to some more open ditching. The right side is the old police station parking lot. Stormwater is underground. See the catch basin for the rain and the runoff there in the picture, and that continues down. So here at Odd Road, on the left, that's taken in front of the car dealership, and you can see the ditching opens back up. It's pretty tight in there. The right side, we have the right-of-way basically running once again along with the power poles, and that's the open field there right beside Odd Road. Now we will move towards the bend, going from Odd Road to Tabernacle Church. We'll look at 3 separate sections in this corridor. Picture on the left side of the road, the right-of-way marker is to where the guide wires are for the power pole, so it's just past the power pole. And on the right side, it is at the power pole, and that is taken in the shopping center right before the bend. So it's really tight, as you can see in that section on that side of the road. So this is just coming around the bend. The right-of-way pushes out a little bit here to the left. On the left side of the road, we have a couple mature trees in there, but we have, there's plenty of room, flat topography. The right side is not a well-defined ditch, but there is a ditch that does hold stormwater on the right side. And oddly enough, the guide wires, when they were put in opposite of how they're designed to be now, and they're towards the road rather than away from it. So it's a tight area in there as well. Moving down, Tabernacle Church is here on the left. Our right-of-way pretty much runs in line with these pine trees. There's 4 mature pine trees there, a garden, some hydrangeas in there, some nice plantings and all that good stuff. On the right side of the road, it's a little bit more clear. We have back over to this power pole here, flat topography, and this is coming up on Municipal Drive. All right. Going through this kind of quickly, but this is our final stretch, Tabernacle Church to Cedar Road. We'll look at a couple sections here, then we'll take a look down Cedar Road. So on the left side, this is in front of Tabernacle in the grass area, relatively flat, a little bit of a defined swale where water kind of sits. And then on the right side, this is in front of the municipal building. We have deeper ditches, pipe that goes under Poquoson Avenue ends up draining to the canal back out there. In front of over here, we have another deep perpendicular ditch that runs all the way back there that carries water as well across Poquoson Avenue. So labeled CC, that's in front, across the street on the left side of Poquoson Avenue, but across from the intersection of Cedar and Poquoson Avenue. That's just showing the field and giving you an idea of where the right-of-way kind of terminates, which is that stake right there. The middle picture is in front of the funeral home. and the right-of-way is marked to about right there. It does when it makes the bend, it does a kind of a triangle as it goes towards Cedar, which you will see is on this picture on the far right. It is pretty much in line with these white bollards to carry down Cedar. That was it. I know it's a lot. We went through it kind of quickly. But here to answer any questions and provide any clarity that anyone may have from the pictures or the diagrams.
How much sidewalk up there where Poquoson Avenue joins Cedar? That's about, what, a quarter of a mile or so of sidewalk?
Roughly.
Right in front of Guardian there.
In front of Guardian?
No, on the other side of the road from Guardian. There's a sidewalk that
That
runs.
small section it's less than a quarter mile.
Is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I couldn't remember how far.
Low. You talked about one place where it goes underneath, toward the north, I assume. But is it mostly flowing from west to east, or is it? Can you even tell?
It's different directions throughout. There's high points located throughout. See if I can find something to. So you could have a high point at this residence here, at this house, and you could have stormwater that goes left, right, and then catches a pipe and gets pushed out. So as you travel down Poquoson Avenue, there's different areas of high points, and the water could either flow east or west, depending on where you're at in that section. So it varies.
Sean, does it ultimately drain what would be the left-hand side of all your pictures?
Yes, sir.
A couple of questions. Would we be able to leverage the currently paved areas that are in front of some of the houses and some of the businesses, terminate the sidewalk and then pick it back up on the other side?
That would be the idea, yes.
And another question, and you may not know this off the top of your head or have all the information, but what would you consider to be the most challenging section stormwater management wise?
Well, as you may have noticed, as we got further down, things got more dicier, for lack of
Cedar.
Towards Cedar, yes, ma'am, for lack of a better term. So the bend would be a tough area for stormwater, as well as any sections we would need to pipe if we were to, move in that area.
Particularly on the south side.
Particularly the south side has a lot more open ditches than the north side. Yes, ma'am.
We got a sidewalk on going down Poquoson Avenue, existing sidewalk on the left side, and then down at Cedar, we've got existing sidewalk, Cedar on the right side. Is it plan to have a crosswalk in there somewhere so we can utilize what's there, or is it, have we thought that?
We have absolutely not thought that far ahead. If you're talking about the sidewalks at the top of Poquoson Avenue, there's sidewalk sections on both sides for a small distance. Part of the decision that will eventually need some direction on from council, I think staff anticipates direction today. This is a lot to take in, but eventually we would like your direction if you're ready to proceed at this time. And if you are, there's some more questions. Question one then is on which side of the road? And then the second question would be, for the purposes of design on the side of the road selected, how many road segments from the first one to all of them you would like us to put under design at one time. And those are big questions. We anticipated you would take to think about this, ask additional questions here from. We're hopeful sometime in the next month or two we can get some.
Down past Cedar, we got a sidewalk all the way from Cedar to Little Florida, but it's on the left side of the road. And then up at the top, we got a sidewalk on the right side of the road, or small. I didn't know if we were planning on joining them or trying.
We tied in 2021, we tied into the existing sidewalk from Cedar to Shipwreck Island to Little Florida.
Right.
We tied into what was existing there on the right side of the road if you're traveling towards Little Florida. And then in a second segment, we picked that back up, went around the bend, down Cedar, and crossed over to the municipal park.
And the idea was to connect all the schools with a sidewalk overall.
From Wythe Creek down Poquoson, starting where you started, there's sidewalks on both sides, and then they stop at the same spot, right?
Yes.
And there's no other sidewalk from that point on Cedar Road.
That's correct.
And it seems to me that the challenges are the fact that the road continues to bend really the same way, and the tight spots are all on the inside of the bends where the deep ditches are, and where the buildings are closest right away. Is the thought process, Randy, you may answer this too, to have it all on one side of the road? Or are you all thinking that you wanted to, because that road, the way that it bends, and maybe this is a decision for later, but the way that that road bends, I can't imagine having people cross from one side to the other just to make, because it's dangerous.
Fewer crosswalks, I think, would be better.
John, I'll defer to you if you want to answer it. If not, I'll jump in.
Sure, I'd be happy to. I think that if we were to move forward carrying the sidewalk all the way, we would need there would need to be a crosswalk somewhere along there. I'm not saying a lot of crosswalks, but logistically speaking, with the challenges that are presented on both sides, carrying it, preliminarily speaking right now, carrying it all the way on one side just does not seem feasible to me.
I would agree with that. I think that for the purposes of today, our objective was to present the right-of-way study. We're looking for guidance from you all on how to proceed. If you would like recommendations from us at a future meeting, you could help us understand the questions you'd like us to provide an answer to. We'll be pleased to do our best.
Based on what you showed, it seems obvious that certain areas are better on one side and then other areas are better on the other side. But it would make little sense to go back and forth, back and forth. I mean, one crossover would make sense. Hey, this is easier here and then farther down it's easier on this side. But to do more than one crossover, am I not incorrect in thinking that would be too much? Like we don't want to go down the south side and then cross over the north side and then back over the south side.
I think that part of the answer to that is about safe sight distance, and that would limit areas where you could even think about it. One, possibly two, might be all you could do in that section, depending on sight distance. I get that right?
Yes, I agree. Typically, you want to distance crosswalks as far as you can for safety purposes. You don't want a bunch of crosswalks close together. I mean, really, you only see that in really dense urbanized areas where they just don't have a choice because you have to, they're block neighborhoods, which is not what we have, where there's lots of stoplights and things that are stopping traffic. You have those things that help guide pedestrians, whereas this is not one of those cases. So, yeah.
right-of-way width, going through it visually looked like there's ample width of right-of-way throughout the project, potential project. So it's just which, as far as stormwater, trees, power lines, all that, would be more feasible. But the actual right-of-way width looks like it's adequate throughout the project. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Sean, what about if you don't mind, the one area that you showed next to the small commercial buildings where we're in that corner, and was the one area that you showed that right-of-way seemed real tight. And I just wonder, I guess if we install curb and gutter, perhaps we could still do it in that short, tight space right there. But that seemed to be, in my recollection, the tightest point.
That is the tightest point, yes.
And it's in a bend,
And it's in the bend. If a
and it's got
sidewalk-
ditches.
Generally, we won't have to buy any property, but we'll have to spend a whole bunch of infrastructure money.
Generally speaking, with the possible
Generally.
exception of that corner on your right there, it doesn't appear that we would need to purchase any significant right-of-way, perhaps no right-of-way at all, of utility issues and stormwater issues that we'll need to deal with. But honestly, the right-of-way looks better than I expected it to look based on what I had heard with the exception of that area, which I knew about because we worked with that property owner over the years on genocide issues. So I was pretty familiar with that specific property.
Are there any other utility issues besides the poles? What other utility issues are we facing?
Underground utilities, gas lines, communication lines, potentially some power lines that come down from the poles to service the residents that aren't overhead.
Water and sewer as well?
Water and sewer, I believe those mostly should run along the edge of the roadway, but they'll have parallels to the homes as well, so water and sewer as well.
And the overhead power lines, do they cross back and forth? Because some pictures looks like the main power lines go down one side, and then all of a sudden another picture, they're down the other side. Do they go cross back and forth?
They do. They cross back and forth, yes. And everything along this section is fed from the overhead power lines.
Right.
Power speaking, and then a lot of them have elected to have their power put underground to their house, but there's still, a lot of residents that have overhead power running from the pole to their houses as well, which that wouldn't be an issue, but potentially the underground could.
See the main train going down the right side, in that picture on the right. And farther down, you can see one line goes to a pole, which goes to a house.
Any other questions from council for Sean?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
If there are no further questions, we would stand ready to put this back on the agenda whenever council directs. But if I could, if there are no additional questions at the moment on this segment, I'd like to talk a little bit about where we are on Little Florida. Sean will correct me if I get anything major wrong, but we have made repeated attempts to reach out to the landowner at 2 Oxford News As you know, that property was purchased over the summer, so the favorable conversations we began with one owner have yet to turn into conversations with the second owner, and we have sent at least 4 letters and made a few visits, unable in those visits to catch someone at home. So what we would like to do with unless there's an objection, is just go ahead and begin the design based on staying within the right-of-way. If ultimately things work out at 2 Oxford Mews that we don't have to, that may improve the cost in a good way of the project down the road. But I think we've waited long enough, and so we would like, without objection, to go ahead and begin that design. We're about this close to a scope of services and a cost is well within the money previously allocated by council under the limit of my authority, so it wouldn't require. Sean, I think you said from when we say go, the estimated time for the design is 6 months? Is that what they told you?
Roughly, yes, sir.
There's a downside to continuing to wait to hear from the folks at Oxford. I'd like to go ahead unless council would like us to not go ahead. Okay.
I think we have a consensus among council
Thank you
to
very
proceed
much.
accordingly.
Thank you. We'll,
Need anything else from us?
I don't. It's under our mutual authority, but we like to stay in lockstep with you on this and every other project. So we want you tonight, make sure you were comfortable, and we'll get that task order done this week. Get one more refinement from the designer, and then we'll provide you regular updates.
Good. Council members, any other comments or questions? Sean, any other comments or questions?
No, sir.
Okay, appreciate you being with us.
course.
Like I said before, my compliments and my thanks on your presentation. That was done to a high enough level of detail, even if you weren't here to explain it, I think we would be able to understand it. Having you here made it that much better.
Appreciate it.
So thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
With that being said, we will adjourn the work session. Thank you.
I know.
Good evening and welcome to all. This Poquoson City Council meeting is called to order. It's great to see a great crowd tonight. We appreciate the support. Thank y'all all so much for being here. And with that being said, I would like to make a note that we have an amendment to our agenda tonight. Item J under the closed session, in addition to section A3, we will also include section A7 of the Virginia Code to seek guidance from our legal counsel. So just wanted to make note of that. Moving on to item B on the agenda is our invocation and pledge of allegiance. And tonight, Councilman Kerry Freeman will lead us in the invocation and the pledge of allegiance. If we could all please rise.
Pray with me, please. Dear Lord, we thank you for this opportunity to meet together as an elected Poquoson City Council. Please guide us and direct us. Help us work together with respect and understanding, striving for the common good of our city. We ask you to bless our military, especially those deployed, and our first responders who serve our city. In your name, amen.
Of the United States of America, the republic for which it stands, one nation, God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. Item C on our agenda. Tonight we have 2 proclamations and 1 recognition. So for those, I will make my way to the podium. Our first proclamation is in honor of National Service Dog Month. And if I could invite Ms. Jane Woodard to join me at the podium, please. And would you like to invite the others as well?
Okay.
Yeah, please do. So everybody here is in support of this proclamation. Please join me.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes.
Ms.
Getting
Woodard,
the
could you
picture. I
please
can take that.
introduce everybody else?
Yes, this is Leslie Neely, and her pup is Lucas.
Damon.
Damon.
Yep, they all look
Lucas
alike.
is down here, all these black marks. Tag,
Yeah.
tag.
And Tracy
This is
Wrigley
Tracy Reckley, and this is Tag. Tiffany Gordon
with Lucas.
with Lucas, yes.
And Kathleen.
Kathleen and Peter Otella,
With
and
Asher.
with Asher.
Alicia, I was going to ask you to do it. Alicia, can you turn on the mic? If you could reintroduce to our audience listening
Okay.
here.
I'm going to let
Okay.
you do this then. since
Thank you,
don't have to
Jane.
mouth to me. Thank you, Leslie.
My name is Leslie Neely, and I have Damon, who's 15 months with me. Across the podium are Kathleen and Peter Aiello, with Asher, who's only 5 months old. On my left is Tracy with Tag, and Tag is 13 months old. And on the end is Tiffany Gordon with Lucas, and he's 14 months old.
Thank you.
Thank you. Proclamation. Whereas this proclamation declares September 2025 to be National Service Dog Month in the city of Poquoson, Virginia, and whereas we believe in the joyful, transformative power of the human canine bond and inclusivity of all citizens, and whereas in the United States, 70 million adults have a disability and only 16,000 service dogs from accredited training programs exist nationwide, and the need is growing. And whereas Canine Companion is a nonprofit organization that enhances the lives of people with disabilities by providing expertly trained service dogs and ongoing support to ensure quality partnerships free of charge. And whereas Canine Companions and their service dogs empower people with disabilities to lead life with greater independence by providing best-in-class training, ongoing follow-up services, and a deeply committed community of support. Whereas National Service Dog Month aims to educate our community about the benefits of service dogs and the laws protecting their handlers. Whereas the City of Poquoson, Virginia continues to work towards becoming an inclusive community in which all citizens and their trained service dogs are embraced. Now, therefore, we, City Council of the City of Poquoson, Virginia, in recognition of service dogs and the adults and children with disabilities in our community, we do hereby proclaim September to be National Service Dog Month. In witness whereof, we have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Poquoson, Virginia, to be affixed this 8th day of September, 2025. And this proclamation is signed by all 7 council members. So it is my pleasure. I don't know that we have done this before. This may be a first.
It is.
Here in the City of Poquoson. So it is our pleasure to do this. And thank you so much for being here with us tonight to recognize and cause some visibility to be applied to this organization.
Thank you
Yes,
so
ma'am.
much.
And I understand y'all would like to get a picture as well.
We would love that.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Are we close enough?
Yes, ma'am. I think we need to scoot over just a little bit. We'll get underneath the city seal.
Okay.
Why don't you join on that end?
You can't train them to pull up your tail. Step on it.
Yes, ma'am. Did y'all have any comments you'd like to make?
Thank you, and we truly appreciate the opportunity to be here tonight, as well as sharing this knowledge and knowing that the proclamation is alive and well in the City of Poquoson.
Very good. Thank you again for
Thank
being
you
with
so
us.
much.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Please call us when we can be of assistance.
Look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Thank you all.
Our next proclamation is in honor of Constitution Week. If I could invite the ladies from the Daughters of the American Revolution to please join me at the podium. Charlene, thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
Oh, just, can you stand up and hold it? Hold it.
Could y'all introduce yourselves, please?
My name is Charlene West, and I am the, you would say past regent, but I call myself regent emeritus for the Charles Parish chapter of the NSDAR.
And I'm through Troll, and I'm in that chapter also.
Maybe repeat or use the mic if you like. Please. Okay. So we can hear all these. I'm Charlene West, from the Charles Parish chapter of the NSDAR, and I am the past regent, Regent Emeritus.
And I'm Sue Troll. I belong to the same chapter, Charles Parish chapter here in Poquoson.
Ladies, we certainly appreciate y'all being with us tonight, and I will read the proclamation. Whereas it is the privilege and duty of the American people to commemorate the 238th anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America with appropriate ceremonies and activities, and whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuance of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America designating September 17th through the 23rd of each year as Constitution Week. Now therefore, I, David A. Hucks, Mayor of the City of Poquoson, do hereby proclaim the week of September 17th through the 23rd, 2025 as Constitution Week, and urge all citizens to study the Constitution and to express gratitude for the privilege of American citizenship and our republic functioning under the superb body of laws, the Constitution of the United States of America. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Poquoson, Virginia, to be affixed this 8th day of September, 2025. And this does have my signature on it.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank y'all so much for being with us.
Of course.
And for your contributions. Would y'all like to get a picture or anything like that?
Sure, and I have some words I'd like to.
Yeah, absolutely, of course. Do we have a photographer?
I guess that's me, right? Seems like
Would you like to be in the picture as well?
Yeah.
No, well, whatever. I gotta figure out how to do this without my glasses. Go ahead, Charlene, anyway. Go ahead and I'll figure this out.
Okay, go ahead. I'll go ahead and do the second speech.
Yeah, I have to get it down here to see pictures.
No, this is where you
I don't have my glasses on, I can't see.
Could we scoot to the left a little
yeah.
bit, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
Set this over here.
Yes, ma'am. Come right on.
Honorable Mayor Hucks, City Council, guests, and residents of the City of Poquoson. Good evening, I'm Charlene West, and the Regent Emeritus of the Charles Parish chapter of the National Society of the Daughters of the American Revolution, and the chair of the NSDAR chapters, United States Constitution Day and Week. I am honored to receive the City of Poquoson's proclamation honoring September the 17th through September 23rd as the Constitution Week and Constitution Day. And I would like to take a moment to remind all of you about the importance of Constitution Day. And to make this awareness entertaining, and we're going to have to use a little bit of imagination. Okay? Now we're going to imagine that we're going to go through a time portal, and we're going back to the year of 1787 during the months of May through September. We are standing now at the Pennsylvania State House, which is Independence Hall. And let's walk over to this small room over here and over here to the left. Now this is the assembly room. And we're going to peer inside and listen to what is being said. Shh. Look over there. It's James Madison. He's a delegate from Virginia. You know, he was the father of the Virginia Constitution, and which was written and adopted 11 years earlier. And he, Madison, campaigned for the ratification of the Constitution by co-authoring a series of essays with John Jay and Alexander Hamilton. Now, those essays appeared to be in various New York newspapers and then were circulated around the other proposed states. Now, there were 85 essays in all, and Madison wrote 29 of those essays, and they became to be known as the Federalist Papers. Now listen. James Madison, he's arguing in a debate on which our young country should have the standing basis of a strong central government that would unify the country. And he is using the Virginia Constitution as the base structure of the proposed paper on the beginning of the organizing our country. Oh my, look, over there, sitting at the table, the head table, why, it's none other than George Washington himself. And he's presiding over this convention. And look, over there sitting in chair, there's Benjamin Franklin and Alexander Hamilton. And representing Virginia, Edmund Randolph, George Mason, Patrick Henry, and Richard Henry Lee. And among the ones that were just mentioned earlier, George Washington and James Madison. Whew. Oh, Lord, it's awfully hot in here. After all, it's the hottest part of the year, and the convention is meeting in private. After all, the windows are closed to keep this important information on the writing of the Constitution should not be overheard or leaked out to the public, at least until the writing is done and the voting and the acceptance by the majority of the delegates. Now, there are 55 delegates representing 13 colonies, and it's been a hot summer, and a majority of the delegates retired to their home states, and only a few stayed, and was left was the main writer of writing the final draft of the Constitution. And now here it is, September. With the final draft of the Constitution was close to completion, a call to attend was sent to the delegates to reconvene back at Independence Hall into the Assembly Room. Virginians Patrick Henry and Richard Henry Lee did not return and were not witnesses or signed. After a full day of representing the newly written Constitution of the United States, it was voted and accepted. Approximately at 4 p.m., the signing of the Constitution was complete. Now, we just witnessed a very important event in American history, and now we're back here in our present time. And I'd like to extend an invitation to all of you to observe Constitution Day. And the Charles Pierce chapter of the DAR would love for all of you to join us as we and other DAR chapters across America participate in the annual ringing of the bells. Join us at Tabernacle United Methodist Church in front of the Memorial Bell at 3:45 on September 17th, and to assemble at that time and bring a bell to ring approximately at 4 o'clock to celebrate Constitution Day. Take this time and this week of September 17th through the 23rd to read your country's Constitution. For in the preamble to the Constitution, it begins and it reads as this: "We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, promote general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our prosperity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America." And it has been a pleasure to transport you back to September 17th, 1787. And again, on behalf of the Charles Pierce chapter of the DAR, I thank you, Mayor Hux and City Council, for this grand proclamation. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl.
You're welcome.
Ma'am. Ladies, that sends chills down my spine every time I hear it, and we should be forever grateful for the sacrifices made by so many that have come before us. So it is an honor and a privilege to serve, and by the grace of God, go we. But with that, we'll move on to our recognition, And if I could please invite our Director of Finance, Ms. Tara Woodruff, to join me at the podium.
Good job.
Recognition. Whereas the Government Finance Officers Association is a nationally recognized professional association of state and local finance officers dedicated to the sound management of government financial resources in the United States and Canada, and whereas each year state and local governments are invited to submit their annual comprehensive financial reports for review by the Government Finance Officers Association. And whereas this Certificate of Achievement, established in 1945, is awarded only to those governments who meet the highest standards for accounting and financial reporting. And whereas accurate and transparent financial reporting is essential for public trust and ensuring accountability in governmental entities, and whereas the City of Poquoson Finance Department has demonstrated a commitment to exceeding the highest standards of financial reporting as evidenced by their receipt of the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting from the Government Finance Officers Association, and whereas the preparation of comprehensive annual financial reports that are easily readable and efficiently organized contributes to informed decision-making by citizens, policymakers, and oversight agencies. And now, therefore, we, City Council of the City of Poquoson, Virginia, do hereby recognize and commend the Finance Department for their outstanding achievement in financial reporting and their commitment to transparency and accountability. In witness whereof, we have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Poquoson, Virginia, to be affixed this 8th day of September, 2025. And this recognition is signed by all 7 council members. And if I could elaborate just a little bit, this year marks the 37th consecutive year that the City of Poquoson Finance Department has received this recognition. It's a remarkable achievement, and this sort of thing contributes to the efficient application of tax revenue. It contributes to our AAA bond rating, which is rare or maybe even unique for a small bedroom community like ours to have that status. But Tara, your work and the work of your staff and your predecessors, some of whom are here tonight, have contributed to this. And that AAA bond rating is something that every citizen of this community benefits from. So we cannot thank y'all enough. And would you have any comments to share with us? Okay. Thank you so much. Yes, ma'am. And that concludes our proclamations and recognition. Moving on to item D on the agenda, we have a special presentation. This is from the Virginia Department of Transportation. We have an update on the Wythe Creek Road project. And with us tonight from the Department of Transportation is Mr. Joseph Ludwig. He is a professional engineer and the district construction engineer. And we also have Mr. Jeff Minix. He is also a professional engineer, and he is the area construction engineer. So, gentlemen, thank you all for being here. The floor is yours.
Thank you, City Council. We're happy to be back here again. For it was roughly a year ago we were here, and thanks for the opportunity. And we're looking to provide an update to the council. Jeff will be presenting.
All right. So, again, thanks for the opportunity to come and give you an update on our progress as we continue to work on the Wythe Creek Road project. Just as a reminder, the purpose of the project is, of course, to raise the elevation of the existing bridge to facilitate emergency evacuation and also to widen the roadway to accommodate future traffic volumes. The project includes improvements in 3/4 of a mile in Poquoson and in another mile in the city of Hampton. Some of the significant elements of the work that we're performing in Poquoson, there's as I said, the construction of a 3-lane bridge that's terminates right at the Poquoson city line at Carey's Chapel Road. We're going to make some improvements in the Carey's Chapel Road intersection. It's going to get widened out. An additional right turn lane will be added at the intersection. And of course, because we're raising the bridge, we have to raise the grade there at the intersection itself. There's also going to be a new traffic signal installed at the intersection. And of course, with roadway and bridge projects, we got a series of roadway and drainage improvements. We're also doing, as I think most of you are aware, we're having to deal with a lot of relocation of underground utilities. But north of Carey's Chapel, the 2-lane roadway section in Poquoson is going to remain. We'll transition from the 3 lanes south of Carey's Chapel back to the 2 lanes in Poquoson. And with that, there are some lane control signals that are associated with in the Hampton section. If you remember, the 3-lane section, the center lane becomes a reversible lane in the morning going south and in the afternoon coming north. But we transition back into the 2 lanes in Poquoson. So there's some signal improvements and part of that system that goes in the city of Poquoson. More specifically in Poquoson, we've got a 8-foot wide multi-use path that's going to be built on the east side of the roadway, and then a 5-foot sidewalk on the west side. Pedestrian connections then will be made to what's now the existing bridge will actually become kind of a pedestrian stopping area where you can stand there on the old bridge and look out over the marsh and the creek. And then the existing roadway that runs along the causeway is going to get modified into that multi-use path, so it'll continue all the way to the south into Hampton. Now, with all of that work, we're going to maintain access to all the businesses and residences in Poquoson will be maintained throughout construction. Now I'd like to just take a couple of minutes and kind of show you some up-to-date photographs and point out a couple of the key components of the project. You can see here on the left, the contractor has built a temporary trestle to be able to build the new bridge, and you can see parts of the new bridge being constructed between the existing roadway and the trestle. We actually finished the construction of the temporary trestle last week, so we just crossed the creek onto the Carey's Chapel side there, so that work's done. That'll stay in place until we finish the construction of the bridge, the new bridge, and then the contractor will remove that temporary trestle. You can see over here on the right side, again, here's the temporary trestle in place, and you can see we're about almost halfway through with the new bridge. They poured a couple of spans of the new deck last week, and that brings us up to about, I think, the 9th span out of 20 that we've got total to do. Just some shots of the bridge construction. You see here bringing in the precast concrete piles, and once we drive the piles that you see here in the lower left-hand corner, they use a template to be able to place the piles in the correct location and at the appropriate angle. Once we drive the piles, then we pour a cap on top of them. Once those caps are poured, then we come back and set the bridge girders. Once the girders are set, then we start forming the concrete deck with reinforcing steel, and then place that concrete. That's a concrete pour going on one of the spans, and then they come back and put the railing on both sides. As we get into up to the Poquoson area, you can see this was taken a couple of weeks ago. There was one more span that was put in of the trestle, so the trestle actually extends just into this marsh area right there off of Carey's Chapel. And as I mentioned, we've started work on the Poquoson side with some of the storm drain work there in front of 233 and 235 Wythe Creek Road. As I mentioned, there's a lot of utility work going on. What you see here is storm drain work. These are high-density polyethylene pipes. What you see here is the sanitary sewer force main. That's actually HRSD facilities. This is gravity sewer, which for that picture, it's actually in the city of Hampton, so that's city of Hampton facilities. And then this is another storm drain. This, what you see, and most everybody is having to deal with down the center of Wythe Creek Road, that's the construction of the HRSD force main. And we're getting closer to being done. We've got a few more weeks, but we're getting closer to Commander Shepard every day now. Looking at the schedule, right now the work in Poquoson is going to continue with the installation of storm drain structures. Won't be too much, probably after the first of the year they'll start building. Once they get the drainage work and some other utility work done in Poquoson, then they'll start doing the grading to build the sidewalks on both sides of the road. We have to do the work to raise the elevation there at Carey's Chapel Road, and they'll be building the north abutment of the new bridge, and they'll be working on that next year. Then we'll pave the sidewalks and the paths, and then ultimately we'll be coming back. We'll mill the asphalt surface off the existing roadway and then put down a new asphalt surface. And then once all that's done, they'll come back and put down all the final seating and stabilize everything once we're done. So as we continue through this year, you'll continue to see intermittent single lane closures along Wythe Creek Road, primarily in Hampton, because we're still working in the utilities there. Most of the utility work that we'll be doing in Poquoson is between the edge of the existing roadway and the property lines. So there may be some occasional need to close a lane, and you'll see the similar things that we've been doing the last year with flagger control is what we call it. There will be, once we get ready to tie in the HRSD force main down closer to Commander Shepard, we've actually worked with the city of Hampton. We're going to reduce Wythe Creek Road in that particular area where we tie in the new force main to the existing force main. We have to actually close the two northbound lanes. So we've got a traffic control plan that will reduce Wythe Creek Road to a single lane in each direction, and that's going to be in place for about a month. But it'll just be between basically Langley Boulevard and Commander Shepard. We'll continue to have traffic shifts along Wythe Creek Road. There'll be some narrowing of the travel lanes as we start to build, because we're going to start to build the roadway up to tie into the new bridge. And then we'll be finishing up the construction of the new bridge. Moving into Poquoson, we'll continue to do some shoulder and intermittent single lane closures, as I mentioned. We'll have some traffic shifts, but again, we'll be maintaining access to all the residential and business properties along the corridor. And then in early 26, right now the tentative schedule is that's the time when we're going to need to close Carey's Chapel between Wythe Creek Road and the entrance to the Surf's Up restaurant. And then that's going to be closed in order to build up the intersection, do the traffic the improvements there. That's going to last until the fall of 2026. So once that's completed, then once we are able to finish the work on Carey's Chapel Road, we'll be able to switch traffic over onto the new bridge, and then we'll switch over to the other side and do all the improvements on the northbound side in Hampton and continue up into Poquoson. So once we get through that process, as I mentioned, the last phase of the project is to go through and completely mill and pave the entire roadway from Huntlandia Road all the way down to Commander Shepard. And right now we're looking at schedule-wise to be complete in late 2027. So we still got a couple more years to go. Just a word out, if you could put the word out to the citizens of Poquoson and your friends and neighbors. I think most of you are aware we've reduced the speed limit within the project limits to 25 miles an hour. That's not only to protect the motors, but also to protect the construction workers, because as you know, there's a lot of activity going on up very close to the edge of the roadway. Just ask the drivers to stay alert, put your phones down, and pay attention, and then just always keep looking forward and obeying the road markings and the flaggers as we're out there trying to finish up the project. So with that, if you've got any other questions, I'll be happy to entertain them. But for more information on the project, there's if you go to the VDOT website and go to, you can go to the projects tab and go to the Hampton Roads projects and scroll through there, and you can find a link to the Wythe Creek Road project. And then if you have any comments, you can always call 800-4-ROAD. That's the VDOT Customer Service Center. If you have any questions or concerns, then that'll get passed to my construction team, and we'll do what we can do to address those concerns. So with that, if you have any questions, be happy to try to answer any.
Keith?
Thank you. To ask a question. Yes. I live in Hunt Woods, so I'm looking forward to the sidewalks being completed that take us all the way downtown. The question I have has to do with your slides talks about currently on the westbound side, or the west side of the road, there's an 8-foot wide sidewalk, and on the east side, 5 foot. But your proposal is to have an 8-foot wide on the west side and 5 foot on the east side. I just wanted to know if it's going to go from 8 to 5 and then 5 to 8.
I'll have to look. I don't think that's right. That it should be matching. So
that's my question.
Yeah. So look back at my. Yeah, it's 8 foot on the east side, 5 foot on the west side.
Currently, it's
the other way around.
Correct.
Okay, because the causeway gets converted to the multi-use path. That's why it's on the east side. We'll have to look.
Okay.
But yeah, if we've got a mismatch in the widths, we'll address that.
Thank you.
Just a quick comment. We appreciate your efforts of keeping our businesses accessible during this time, because driving down that road is pretty aggravating, but we appreciate your efforts.
It might be my imagination. Have you guys gone in the last week or two to smooth out the Wythe Creek Road, the center paving, the temporary paving? It feels flatter now.
We've had several conversations with the contractor to try to improve the rideability of Wythe Creek Road. One of the things that we're going to do, hopefully by the end of this month, is we're going to come back and mill. Once they get down to the tie-in with the force main and they finish digging the trench in the middle of Wythe Creek Road, we're going to come back and mill it and then overlay that to smooth that whole area out between basically Commander Shepherd and the beginning of the causeway, because we know it's really bad right around Voyager, just north of Voyager. So we're trying to address that as soon as we can.
We're having that conversation too.
Sure.
Any other questions or comments from council members? Mr. Ludwig, Mr. Minix, thank you so much for being here. That presentation was very thorough, very insightful. This project, as y'all know, has been a long time coming. I'd like to recognize and thank also our city manager, Mr. Randy Wheeler, and former mayor and delegate, Mr. Gordon Helsel, because their efforts were instrumental, because it didn't look like this project was going to happen, and almost didn't. But we're very thankful that it did. Living on a peninsula that's sometimes flood prone, with 2 ways in and out, and as it stands right now, half of those ways flood. So to have this project completed will certainly be a great benefit to the city, and we much appreciate your efforts.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here tonight. Moving on to item E on the agenda, we have our audience visitors. We'll open the floor for public comment, and we have 2 speaker cards tonight. We'll go with ladies first. I'd like to invite Ms.
She'd like me to go first because she's still writing notes.
Okay, that's no problem. That being said, I'd like to invite Mr. Paul Schubert to the podium. Mr. Schubert, welcome. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Council, City Manager. First, I want to express my continued appreciation for your continued support of the Sidewalk project. It's great to have a council and a staff that is behind this, and I just hope as council morphs and future elections that that support will continue and get this project done. So, segueing why I'm what's concerning me tonight, and I see that it's on the agenda, we're going to talk modify code so kids will start wearing helmets on the motorized vehicles, bicycles. One of my concerns for sidewalks was that safety for the kids walking and biking, and I think they outdid us with now these motorized bicycles. From my view, front yard of Hudgens Road, they're having a great time. They're zipping up and down. They're in the in the main roadway because we have no sidewalks, we have no shoulders. I can tell you, as a motorcycle enthusiast, I've been riding for 43 some odd years, and that required me to get training, licensing, carry insurance, and then recurring safety and skill training, and the assurance that everybody else on the road who has a driver's license understands the rules of the road. Now we have kids, and these bikes are going speed limit plus. They're easily 25 miles an hour. So I'm hoping your effort to control this behavior goes a little bit beyond helmets and maybe something else. But last I checked, you had to be 18 and have a license to operate on a city street. And yeah, not that they have a lot of choice, and I think they're having a great time, and I love it. These are future motorcycle riders, most likely. So anyway, I just wanted to express that concern this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Schubert. Appreciate you being with us tonight. Ms. Overby, are you ready now? Okay, very good. I'd like to invite Ms. Roxanne Overby to the podium. Ms. Overby, thank you for being here. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I just wanted to follow up with Mr. Schubert about the electric bikes. I was glad to see that it was on the agenda this evening. It's been a concern of mine just watching the kids out there on the streets. A lot of scary situations I've seen, so I'm glad that we are having the conversation. Thank you again. I'm going to read my notes, but I have very sloppy handwriting, so bear with me. So yes, they've become very popular among adolescents 15 and under, many of whom don't know the road laws. So I have questions more than I have anything. This might be answered later on, but how do we plan to educate our youth with these bicycles, these electric bikes? Are there safety classes that we can offer? Are there any types of education that we could provide them? Do they have to register them? Again, they're all under the age of 15 that have them, so I don't know what the laws are for that. And then how are we planning on carrying out the ordinances that we are providing them? That's another question. Christmas is coming. It's right around the corner. They're going to be doubled and tripled. I know at least one in every household. The kids are asking for them. I mean, at least there's 10 families. 2 of the families are going to be getting these. They're come down in prices. They're easily to be had. If my kids are watching, you keep asking, you're not getting one. So there's going to be triple and double the amount that we see now. And then I know every city has a different ordinance with these electric bikes. How do we provide the information to our kids? If we don't provide classes, how do we provide? Where can they find the information about the laws, and not just reading the ordinances? Like, how can they access it and understand it, read it? Something like a printout, easy to find, easy to read. Is something maybe we could provide to our schools, that we could hand out to our schools, because they're not just riding the bikes, they're riding the electric bikes now to school as well. And then again, with the narrow roads that we have, what are the laws? I mean, I know the laws, but what are the laws for the kids about riding on the sidewalks versus the narrow roads that don't have sidewalks? So those are all my questions. Hopefully maybe some of those can be answered tonight. Those are just some thoughts that I had quick that I wrote down. So I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Overby. Appreciate you being with us, as well as Mr. Schubert. Do we have any other speakers tonight? Very well. We will close the floor, and we will move on to item F, which is the approval of the minutes of the regular session from August 11th, 2025. Do we have a motion and a second?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Christie, call for vote, please.
Councilwoman Hubbard?
Aye.
Councilman Southall?
Aye.
Councilman Freeman? Councilwoman Emmett?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bunting?
Aye.
Councilman Fye?
Aye.
Mayor Hucks?
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, motion carried by a vote of 7-0.
Okay, thank you, Christie.
Speaking of e-bikes.
Ladies and gentlemen, just for efficiency, as we move on to item G, new business, I'd like to move item 3 ahead of item number 1 and 2. Item 3 under new business is a resolution making an appointment to the Board of Zoning Appeals. With us tonight, we're honored to have Mr. Brad Alger. He's the nominee for this position, and we're honored to have Mr. Alger and his wife Brittany here tonight, as well as their daughters Charlotte and Georgia. They also have a son Jackson. He's at Boy Scouts and couldn't be here. So in order to prevent them from having to stay any later, I thought it might be a good idea to move this up on the agenda a little bit. So I appreciate everybody's understanding on that. With that being said, do we have a motion and a second?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to propose a resolution making an appointment to the Board of Zoning Appeals with the name of Bradley Alger inserted, whose term will expire August 31st, 2030.
Second the motion.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Christie?
Councilman Freeman? Aye. Councilwoman Emmett?
Aye.
Councilman Southall?
Aye.
Councilman Fye?
Aye.
Councilwoman Hubbard?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bunting?
Aye.
Mayor Hucks?
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 7-0.
Great. Thank you very much, and congratulations to Mr. Alger. Appreciate your willingness to step up and take on the burden of leadership. So much appreciated. With that, now we'll move on to what was item 1 under new business. Item 1 and 2 are a little bit more involved, so nice to be able to get item 3 out of the way. Item 1 is an ordinance to amend and reordain Chapter 78, Traffic and Motor Vehicles of the Code of the City of Poquoson, Virginia, by amending Article 1 in general by adding Section 78-8, helmets required for riders of bicycles and electric power assisted bicycles. With us tonight we have our Police Chief Stephen Cates to give us a presentation. So Chief Cates, thank you for being here. The floor is yours.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. Over the last several months, I'm sure many of you have observed it, as I know some of our earlier speakers this evening have. There's been a more or less an explosion in the prevalence of electric-assisted bicycles and other bikes and modes of transportation not traditional on our roadways. I've had numerous calls and visits and emails as recent as this afternoon concerning the issue of the safety of our youth as it relates to the use of bikes and electric assisted bikes. So I went in search of what the code says. The Poquoson City ordinance, because one of the issues was brought up about motorized skateboards, motorized scooters, in addition to the bicycles. Chapter 78, Article 8 of the Poquoson ordinances regulates motorized skateboards and scooters very tightly. Those, you are required to have helmets. You have to be at least 16 years of age and have a valid driver's license to operate those on the roadways in Poquoson. And with that being as tightly restricted as it was, I saw no need to address that issue, except by way of additional training for my staff in updating their knowledge of the ordinances and the enforcement of them. So we're working, that's in progress at this point. I looked at the state code concerning bicycles because the Poquoson ordinances were more or less silent on the use and regulation of bicycles in general. But we do have Chapter 78, which adopts the state traffic code, which does address the use of bicycles on our roadways. And over the last several years, there's been a lot of updates and changes made to the state codes concerning bicycles. And some of those, it used to be, I remember enforcing it in my young officer days. If you were over 16, you could not ride on sidewalks. You had to be in the street. If you were 16 or if you were under 16, you had to ride on the sidewalk. That was changed to where bicycles in general are allowed to be ridden on sidewalks. There is some permissive language where localities can adopt ordinance to prohibit bicycles on sidewalks with proper signage in the areas where it's prohibited. Like any automobile on our roadways, bicyclists, whether it's electric or man-powered, have to yield to pedestrians. That part has not changed. It was actually re-emphasized in one portion of the code. The state nor localities are able to require driver's license for use of bicycles or electric bicycles. That was very specific in the code. Electric bicycles they establish 3 classifications. Class 1 is assist the pedaler up to 20 miles per hour. If the pedal stops or they reach 20 miles an hour, the motor has to disengage. And class 2 is the same without the bicyclist having to pedal. The bike can do it for you. Class 3 can go up to 28 miles per hour only if they are pedaling and there has to be a speedometer attached. And these have to be labeled by the manufacturer. So any bike that does not have a valid manufacturer's label classifying it is not permissible on public right-of-way. And all bicycles, power assisted or not, can only be utilized by the number of persons for which it was designed. So if you got a tandem bike, you can ride 2 people. Most bikes only have 1 seat. You can ride 1 person. Adding foot pegs doesn't count to double somebody on. You can have the manufactured seats that are able to be attached, or the trailers for small children. Those are permitted under state code. And the other caveat on the classifications, if a bike is classified as a class 3, if the operator is under 14 years of age, they are required to be under direct adult supervision. And so that's another piece of and all of this is stuff that has happened in just the last few years, few sessions of our legislature. And so we're in the process of bringing our officers up to speed because of the increased prevalence of the use of these devices in our communities. So the one thing out of all of that, saying all of that, the one thing that was absent from both state code, permissible by state code, but also absent in city code, is a requirement for our young people to wear helmets when they're operating a bike or an electric assisted bike on a public right of way. And so the Code of Virginia allows for local ordinance to be adopted for persons 14 years of age or younger to be required to wear an approved helmet. And so before you tonight for your consideration is an ordinance to amend and reordain Chapter 78, Traffic and Motor Vehicles of the Code of the City of Poquoson, Virginia, by amending Article 1 in general by adding Section 78-8, helmets required for riders of bicycles and electric power-assisted bicycles. Questions?
Forgive me, I think I have asked you this previously. Pocket bikes are not considered the bicycles. They're a different category.
Gasoline-powered little mini bikes are not permissible on public right-of-way.
Keith?
Yeah, yes. Appreciate your time Sunday afternoon educating me on all this stuff, and I was able to find it all eventually. Is there any difference in the helmets? Because the ordinance talks about for the scooters and skateboarders, standards promulgated by the American National Standards Institute or the Snell Memorial Foundation. Is that the same as the Consumer Product Safety Commission's?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I can't remember which one off the top of my head is the standard bearer, but they adopt each other's regulations.
Okay. The only other thing is when I first read this, when I got the packet on Thursday, I never realized it was such an issue. And then lo and behold, Sunday editorial by a doctor from Norfolk was talking about e-bikes and what we got to do about them. So obviously it's something that I did not know about. So thank you for helping me on this.
Yes, sir.
I have a lot of questions, and it was very interesting, I think, tonight that we had two speakers addressing this very topic. My questions, when I was first seeing this weekend and looking at it, I'm thinking bikes and e-bikes, totally two different things. I wasn't really comfortable with having bikes included in with what we're doing. I think parents should have a say in something regarding bicycles. I think the e-bikes are totally different, not in the same category. With that said, and with tonight's speakers bringing, even more questions, I think there's a lot of questions surrounding this now, especially with all of the e-bikes in the city and what could possibly be more. With that said, if I can at this time, I would like to make a motion that we table this for tonight until we can have more discussion. I know I would like to have more discussion with council members and would love to hear from our citizens to kind of get, their ideas. We've heard from two tonight, and there's was a lot of questions. So I think we need more time instead of acting on this tonight. So I would like to move that we table this tonight regarding adopting this to the code by amending Article 1, general, by adding Section 78-8, helmets required for riders of bicycles and electric power-assisted bicycles.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. And if I could clarify, this motion is to table this until we get to the point that we feel comfortable, we are better informed and better able to make a quality decision on this. And by tabling, if we pass this motion, will require another motion and a vote to be taken to take it off the table so we can pursue consideration. And I'd also like to thank Chief Cates for your initiation of this and your leadership, the efforts that you've put forth to bring this to us tonight. This is a great place to start, but to the point being made by Vice Mayor Bunton, it's complicated, very involved. It's still relatively new, and I think it would behoove us to take our time so we get it like we want it.
discussions okay, or comments?
Yes, ma'am.
One of the things that I'll be interested in is the action plan
Yes.
and how that's going to be a big deal for so many. I mean, we all know that they're, as you've said, it's burgeoning. And we want to have them to know that it's happening, as whether a work session or however we're handling it from here. And then after it's made, that communication plan, I'd like to see that, what the idea is for that.
Thank you. Excellent comments. And thank you for teeing that up for me. I just leaned over and asked Randy about the possibility of doing a work session to address this. So I would anticipate a work session to be coming up in the near future. Any other questions or comments?
Just a comment. I think that this is very important, and I think that it is timely with the prevalence of these e-bikes. So if we do table it, I just want to make sure that we address it relatively soon.
Yes, ma'am. Agreed. Thank you, Andy. Any other questions or comments? Okay, we have a motion and a second. So, Christie, call for a vote, please.
Councilman Southall?
Motion is for.
To table.
Aye.
Councilman Freeman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Hubbard?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bunting?
Aye.
Councilman Fye?
Aye.
Councilwoman Emmett?
Aye.
Mayor Hux?
Aye.
Carried by a vote of 7-0.
Thank you, Christie, and my compliments to council and staff. I think it's good work on that. All right, moving on to item 2, what was item 2 under new business, we have a resolution of the City of Poquoson City Council approving of the city's participation in the proposed settlements of opioid-related claims against Alvogen, Amneal, Apotex, Hikma, Indivior, Mylan, Sun, and Zydus, and directing the city attorney and/or the city's outside counsel to execute the documents necessary to effectuate the city's participation in the settlement. And we have with us tonight our city attorney, Mr. Wayne Moore, to shed some light on that for us. Mr. Moore?
This is a continuation of a number of opioid settlements that we participated in. And basically the same process I explained to you before. There's a nationwide settlement. It comes down to each of the states who are participating. And the more people in the jurisdiction who participate, the more of the percentage of the settlement goes to the state of Virginia and then to the municipalities and the county. So, again, the Attorney General is always looking for full participation. We have participated in a number of these in the past, and I would recommend that we adopt a resolution to participate in this settlement. This is the second one we've had this summer. The last one was against the main company, can't think of the name of it right now. But anyway, Purdue Farm. So these are some of the other companies that participated in the distribution of opioids, and they have joined in a settlement of different claims against them. So we need this resolution in order to participate and receive any allocation for the city of Poquoson from the state of Virginia.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Any questions or comments from council members for Mr. Moore?
I have one for Randy, actually. Would you mind talking a little bit about or giving some examples of how these funds can be used within municipalities or counties?
That sounds like a great question and is way complicated because each of the settlements have their own rules. And so they're not wholly consistent one to the other. How we've used the money so far, we did some work directly opioid related for the police department, testing equipment that the police department has acquired recently. You all approved that appropriation. And one of the next things we're hoping to use it on is a joint project between social services, the Boys and Girls Club, the school system, and ourselves to stand up a Herren, Herren project in Poquoson City Schools, similar to one that they have in York County. That's one we're working towards right now. But they have to be directly related to opioid abatement, and what we were all hoping for was that it would help us by allowing us to recoup the money we've spent. That is not permissible. It has to be prospective in nature.
We have to account, we have to actually file a report and account back to the settlement agent who is in charge of the administration of each of these things. So I think Tanya's been doing most of that, and so it's a relatively complicated job to keep track of each one because, as I said, there are different requirements on different settlements depending on the involvement of that company into the opioid sales, how much were they manufactured or sold, whatever their participation was. So the requirements change.
Thank you, Angie. Any other questions or comments from council members? Very good. Do we have a motion and a second?
Mr. Mayor, I propose a resolution of the City of Poquoson, or the City of Poquoson City Council approving the city's participation in the proposed settlements of opioid-related claims against Alvogen, Amneal, Apotex, Hikma, Indivior, Mylan, Sun, and Zydus, and directing the city attorney and/or the city's outside counsel to execute the documents necessary to effectuate the city's participation in the settlements.
Second. Thank you. Christie?
Vice Mayor Bunting?
Aye.
Councilman Fye?
Aye.
Councilman Southall?
Aye.
Councilman Freeman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Hubbard?
Aye.
Councilwoman Emmett?
Aye.
Mayor Hucks?
Aye.
Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 7-0.
Thank you, Christie. And that completes our new business for tonight. We will move on to item H, comments of the city manager. Randy?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Only one item this evening. Just wanted to remind everyone that on the 14th of this month is the Poquoson Workboat Races at Messick Point. Festivities start at 12, and the weather forecast is good. As Dave Callis used to say, Chamber of Commerce weather. In this case, if you don't mind, a little overcast, but it's not supposed to rain, and it won't be hot. That's all I have.
Thank you, Randy. Moving on to item I, council directives. Jeannie?
No, not tonight.
Okay, thank you. Keith?
Yes, a couple things. First off, this Thursday morning will be the mobile food pantry distribution at MS Baptist Church. Anybody would like to volunteer, we'd ask them to be there about 8:30. It goes from roughly 9 o'clock until noon, unless we run out of food earlier. People that are in need of the food are more than welcome to come. People start lining up somewhere in the 8 to 9 o'clock time frame, which is good for them. And again, at MES Baptist Church on Yorktown Road. This coming Thursday, later in the day, or next Thursday, it's the 18th, will be Child Find hosted by the primary school, I believe part of the IPOP program. And I know at least one organization will be providing vision screenings for little children that run between like the ages of 2 and 4 years old. So more than welcome to come out and participate in that. Bring your children so they can get a good, thorough exam by the IPOP program people, part of Child Find. Let's see. And the day after that, on the 19th, there'll be, Angie's probably going to try and come, is the Elected Leaders Day at Virginia Food Bank, Peninsula Food Bank. So if anybody's interested in coming to that, it would be from like 9 o'clock until noon. Basically learning what it's like on the other end of the food bank process to help feed the people in our community in need.
Very good. Thank you, Keith.
You're welcome.
Debbie?
Just wanted to thank all of our guests that came out tonight, the folks from the K-9 Companions. I know the Woodards who were here tonight with with the group. They trained one of the dogs, and they take the dogs in their home, bring them in, train them, socialize them, and move them on to go to, I think it's called Puppy College, I believe, is the next step. So it's a tremendous program. It's a lot of devotion on the side there of those people that volunteer to move that process along by having these dogs in their home. It's a great organization. So I'm glad we were able to do that proclamation tonight and recognize National Service Dog Month. Also, thanks to the ladies that came out from the Daughters of Revolution, the Poquoson branch for that, for being here tonight. And our speakers, as always, loving the participation and hearing from our community, and encourage others to do that as well, so their voices can be heard. I believe that's all tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. Mr. Freeman?
I have nothing new tonight.
Angie?
First of all, congratulations to the Finance Department. Very well deserved. You guys always do such a great job, so I'm very happy that you got that certificate of achievement. September 20th, Kiwanis is going to be selling their bulk barbecue, $12 per pound. It's going to be the one that where you pick it up over at the municipal building, the old municipal building. You can reach out to any Kiwanian to sign up to pre-order. And then lastly, October 23rd through the 26th, so there is a local Girl Scout cavers group. That's what they do. That's what this troop does. They just go caving. I am a chaperone and a driver. We go up to West Virginia. It's for girls ages 12 and up. You spend the weekend in wild caves, not tourist caves, nowhere. There's no light. You got your headlamp, you got coveralls, you're army crawling, getting dirty. You go to the car wash afterwards to clean to clean the gear. You stay at an old school in West Virginia that's now the community center. Such a great experience for these girls, and it's such a confidence builder after you've spent a couple days going through these caves. Anyway, if anybody knows any girls 12 and up who would be interested in going, it's a weekend trip. Highly recommend it, and you can get in touch with me.
Angie, thank you. Mr. Southall?
I'd just like to thank the people who came out tonight to pay attention to the city government. I wish more people would. And also thank the people at home who watch it on TV. It's important to watch the government and participate. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Mr. Southall. As usual, I'd like to thank our IT support, Alicia Barefoot and Allison Kroll. Thank you, ladies. Couldn't do it without y'all. Also like to thank Poquoson City Schools for inviting us to their Spark event. A few years back when I was a school board member, it was called Convocation. It's very similar, but it's evolved a little bit, and I haven't missed but one since 2011. But talking with Councilman Freeman, he shared with me that this year was his 30th. So that's an impressive record. Councilman Freeman is a former school board member, and of course long-standing council member as well, but attending 30 consecutive opening events for the school system is pretty impressive. So thank you, Mr. Freeman, for your support. With that, we will move on to item J, closed session. And I'll elaborate just a little bit, as I had alluded to right after the meeting was called to order, about the additional guidance we'll get from our city attorney during a closed session. But item J is a closed session pursuant to section 2.2-3711A3 of the Code of Virginia from 1950 for discussion of acquisition or disposition of real property, and section 2.2-3711A7 of the Code of Virginia 1950 is amended to consult with the city attorney pertaining to probable litigation. So do we have a motion and a second?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Christie?
Councilman Southall? Aye. Councilman Freeman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Hubbard?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bunting?
Aye.
Councilman Five?
Aye.
Councilwoman Emmett?
Aye.
Mayor Hooks?
Aye.
Carried by a vote of 7-0.
All right, thank you, Chris. We're in closed session. Item K on our agenda is reconvenement from closed session. Do we have a motion and a second?
So move.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Christie?
Vice Mayor Bunting?
Aye.
Councilman Fye?
Aye.
Councilman Southall?
Aye.
Councilman Freeman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Hubbard? Councilwoman Emmett?
Aye.
Mayor Hupp?
Aye.
Carried by a vote of 7-0.
We're good, thank you. We are out of closed session and moving on to item L on the agenda, which is adjournment. Do we have a motion and a second for
We
adjournment?
got to certify those. Certify the closed session.
Yes. Do we have a motion for certification of the closed session?
Mr. Mayor, I move we certify the closed session and the only public business matters lawfully exempt from open meeting requirements by paragraph 2.2-3712, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion were heard, discussed, or considered at the meeting by the public body.
Including section A7. Including section A7.
Including section A7.
Second.
Questions or comments? Thank you. Christie?
Vice Mayor Bunting?
Aye.
Councilman Fye?
Aye.
Councilman Southall? Councilman Freeman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Hubbard? Councilwoman Emmett?
Aye.
Mayor Hupp?
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 7.
Okay, thank you, Christie. Now moving on to item L, adjournment. Do we have a motion and a second?
So moved. Second.
He did it.
Thank you. Christie?
Councilwoman Emmett?
Aye.
Councilwoman Hubbard?
Aye.
Councilman Fye? Councilman Southall?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bunting?
Aye.
Councilman Freeman? Mayor Hupp?
Aye.
Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 7-0.
Thank you. We are adjourned.